When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink, but I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds. I love chic branding, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
Hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of you relaxing, because now you're managing diabetes with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. You get to know your glucose levels and where it's headed. Manage your diabetes with more confidence with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. Ready to learn more about the #1 prescribed CGM in the U.S.? Visit freestylelibre.us to learn more. Based on retail sales data for patients' last filled prescription by manufacturer. Refer to the FLAIR NL4 study published in BMJ Open Diabetes Research and Care 2019. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Kroger brand products exclusively at Baker's have the great taste you'll celebrate. That's why over 40 million people choose Kroger brand products, making them a true crowd pleaser. And with quality guaranteed, you'll love your choice or get your money back. Score Kroger brand products with savings you can cheer for and great taste you can't resist. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Want my style advice from season to season? That's exactly what you'll get when you sign up for my membership, Curator. Every 3 months, I'll send you my favorite fashion, beauty, and lifestyle products, all valued at over $400 and yours for just $125 per season. Everything has been selected to make you feel extra chic and confident in spring, summer, fall, and winter, and elevate your everyday while letting your personal style shine through. And when you head to Curator.com, that's CURATEUR.com, you'll receive an exclusive offer. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Zoe, and you're listening to Climbing in Heels. This show is all about celebrating the most extraordinary superwomen who will be sharing their incredible journeys to the top, all while staying glamorous. We're back this week with part 2 of my interview with Molly Sims. As you've heard in part 1, Molly is truly a force and has accomplished a lot in her career. She's been working on some incredible new projects that we get into. So without further ado, Miss Molly Sims. How did you meet? So she calls her husband by his last name. I just want everyone to know, for those of you that don't know. And it's still weird for me. So I actually still call him Scott, but Molly refers to her husband as Stuber. So, which is very it's very high school. It's very college. It's very like he's the football player, which I think he actually was, right? Big football player.
Kind of, listen, I dated great people. I had a really, long relationship with someone that I thought I was going to get married to.
Which is when I met you.
And when you met me, and he's amazing, but ultimately it didn't work out, but I was really crushed. And so, I don't know, it just kind of really took the life out of me for a long time.
I remember.
And I ended up dating people I shouldn't have dated.
As we all do.
I finally got out of the codependent relationships and I started dating. And I hate to say this, but I never really dated. I always had long-term monogamous, whatever you want to call it. Really, I could be in Paris. I could be anywhere. I decided I broke off a really long, terrible relationship after that. And I forced myself, I actually went to therapy. I'm like, can you hold me accountable so I can not repeat my patterns and try to pick a dead bird off the side of the road and change them? Because, when you're like a Gemini like me, you're like, oh, but I'm so light and you're so dark. And the lightness can bring it's like I'm in Star Wars.
Can't fix people. Nope. Can't fix people. Cannot.
And so I actually met him. He was in a really significant relationship and he was coming out of it. And I met him at the beginning of the year and I knew him. I thought he was dating Mary Parent, Mary Parent's like his producing partner. But, when you're young and you're like, he's living with a girl, I don't know. He married the shit, probably one of the best producers out there. But, and then I met him and my agents were like, oh, Scott Stuber, he's just done a breakup and safe house and like all these different things. And I was like, oh, okay. So I met him and then we kind of, we started talking about other things. And after that meeting, it's funny, someone saw us at the Chateau Marmont, which at the time was a really cool place. And I didn't really do dinners or drinks, but I did like an early dinner and someone saw him having dinner with me or like a drinks with me. And anyway, he texted me after he got my name, he got my number from my agents. And he was like, I had a really good time. If you ever, want to go grab a coffee or go to, which AKA is hitting on me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, thank you. But I just can't get involved with you right now. You just got out of something and I'm an absolute mess. And so I literally dated other people. I went on dates. I really liked this one guy. He broke up with me. And then I dated this other actor who I thought I loved and he broke up with me. And then it was so fun. But they all come back. Trust me. They all come back. And so, and I always thought I would go back to the first one, like deep down.
Sure.
And then one day he didn't call me in August. He lost his phone. He was shooting in Ireland and something happened. I was like, well, that's weird. He hasn't called because of course every girl likes a chase. And so something had happened and I was dating this guy and he was being a dick. And he asked me out so many times, super. Then I was like, fine, fuck it. Let's just go for a drink or like go to dinner or something. I'm like, nowhere fancy. Know that no one will know who we are or where we are. And nothing like fabulous.
Right.
And so that was December
15 years
13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I went on that date and I was like, huh. And so, anyway.
Where did he take you?
Austin Avo.
Love it. Oh my God.
I know, because he was in the valley.
I'm dead.
But he was like it had Stu. He had this fucking nameplate. I'm like, oh my God. And I wasn't, I love executives and I love, people in suits, but I wasn't used to, I wasn't used to like someone having it all together.
Well, by the way, and it's alarming. You're like waiting for like the bomb to drop. Like, what do you mean you have your shit together? What do you mean you're tall and handsome? What's happening? Like you checked every freaking box.
And it was weird because he would constantly follow up and I'd be like, and then I was kind of started going back to the guy I was dating and he just kind of kept pursuing. He was very consistent, very like, okay, well, let's do this. I'm like, oh, okay. But I really wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to someone with a calendar. Like I wasn't used to like, I'm like, oh, wow, you're very scheduled. He goes, I'm in a fucking studio. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I just wasn't.
But it's funny though, because I think for as like powerful and successful as Scott is, I think that the way that your relationship works is just so incredibly even. You know what I mean? Like it's so like you really support each other. You're both clearly very hands-on parents. You and I we always talk about, the way that our life rolled out is we did career, we still do career, but like we were on the late plan, right? And I don't think it was planned. I think that's just what happens, right? And
listen, I think both of us don't have that. Listen, one of my very best girlfriends, her name's Lauren Kuzrak.
Yeah, love Lauren.
She's been my publicist.
Yep.
For about 10 years. She's still my best. She just had that when we were young. She had that FOMO, right? Like she had that mirror. And we always, I had it a little bit. I was never like, oh, it's fine. I would rather say no. But you always want to do those things, whether it's go to this or get invited to that or be a part of this.
Yep.
But I think having that not checked off.
No,
sort of. Having done those, it's not like you feel like you're missing out.
That's
like,
what I always say.
Kids.
Like later, I think being a later parent makes the decision to parent so hard a bit easier. I don't have that FOMO, and I think, listen, it doesn't mean you're dead. It doesn't mean you don't do things. You still live a very big life and a very full life, but those choices, it's not that hard to make the choices. Whereas, but again, I think there's no right recipe for this, right? There's no exact path. And, climbing in heels for me is really about sort of exposing, sharing the different paths and narratives of amazing women. Because, I mean, you've had a long path. You've been working since you're what, 20, right? I mean, 19?
Well, I started working when I was 14.
Yeah. I mean,
my parents, well, my dream was to be a waitress at the Dairy Queen.
mine was to be a
But,
hostess and open a restaurant and live happily ever after.
oh, I would slap books and have to organize them in the warehouse, which, by the way, was 900 degrees. And then when I was in college, I worked at Quigley. Sorry, actually, when I went, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer and go.
Why
into
am I getting
politics.
such Sweet Home Alabama vibes right now?
So I went to DC on the Hill, and my parents were like, well, you're going to have spending money. And so I was a waitress at Quigley's across from the American University, and I was terrible. And I ended up becoming a hostess because I would always forget the soup and salad. But I was pretty, and then I liked to talk, and then they were kind to me, so I got great tips. But then they changed me to a hostess because I could never get the order right. And yeah, but I was really
my
good.
favorite job. My favorite job being a hostess.
Yeah, I wore I love, but you know what I loved about? I loved most was the fucking outfit. Of
course.
I loved that I was in a white shirt with a tie.
And you get to greet everybody. I
get to
loved
greet, I get to
greeting
talk.
people. I loved meeting people. I loved greeting people. I loved seating people. I loved the whole process.
Yeah,
But
I
Moss,
think
so you get married. It all happens like I want to say fairly quickly, right? I mean, fairly quickly, right? Like sort of.
yeah. I mean,
Because Brooksy's 11.
Brooks
Yeah.
is going to turn 11 in a few weeks, and he's in 4th grade. So we celebrated his first birthday in my 40th.
I remember.
And listen, I remember I did not want kids young. It's not that I didn't love kids. I don't know. My mom had me older. Maybe she would talk about like not, you're not getting pregnant. So constantly that was like drilled into my ear. You're not getting pregnant.
Molly, actively try not to get pregnant.
So, I mean, honestly, but at 35, I think she was like, listen, are we sure? Like this is going to happen? I'm like, but I was playing pregnant on Vegas, and something happened, and I ended up going to freeze. I met Dr. Shaheen Gadir, really good friends of ours. And I remember going to his office, and I was like, listen, I would like to freeze my eggs. And I remember him turning to his computer, which we laugh about this. And he was like, okay, so I think we should do embryos. We can find you a person. It's not going to be hard. I go, listen, have you looked at me? I don't think I have expired completely. And I got so upset. I did not speak to him for like 2 years.
And he said it was geriatric, right? You're geriatric. We're geriatric.
He was like, you're
35.
geriatric. I was like, what? Anyway, just that was definitely like a turning point where I'm like, okay, I've got to kind of like start to figure it out. But, I had Brooks, and then I had Scarlett in 2015, and then I had Gray in 2017.
Oh, I remember. I remember where I was when you told me you were pregnant, and I asked if you were joking.
Yeah, I was worried. I was, thinking it was all a joke.
Yes.
But it wasn't. And when he came out white and blonde, Scott was like,
"Is he mine?
Is he mine?" I'm like, "He is."
Platinum.
Platinum. I think he's actually going to be a blondie. I don't know how in the world.
The whitest hair of all hair.
And listen, with becoming, I think, an older mother, you would say at the time, like, I remember walking out of Dr. Silverman's office. I'm like, here's who you're never going to see. Because I've been going to you now for 11 years, and I've been 11 years geriatric.
Exactly. Isn't that funny?
I know. But I think, listen, with ups and downs, I ended up having a thyroid problem after Brooks. Meaning that like somehow my body kind of kicked into gear that it was going to not produce enough hormones. So with the help of, great doctors, we figured that out. I started having, cystic acne when I was in my 30s. And then I really started having hyperpigmentation and melasma. And, you know,
Which, by the way, Molly, you're a queen at makeup, because I have to tell you, I've been next to you 20,000 times in the last 20 years, and I've never seen a pimple or hyperpigmentation that
yeah,
you speak of.
I got really good with my MAC pot concealer that I would have. I still have it, by the way. I might even have it in my bag, but listen, I mean, I think, you know, when you're the queen of no makeup,
Right.
and all of a sudden
Right.
you've got, you know,
Yep.
patches and
Yep.
blotches, and then, you know,
Yep.
years of sun
Yep.
all kind of hit at once.
Yep.
And, you know, I did what everyone else does. You go get a really strong peel,
Yep.
you go get a great laser, you go on hydroquinone, and, you know, it would leave me maybe not dirty and patchy, but it would leave me red, dry, and irritated, and I would have to have serious downtime.
Right.
And then in 2019, 2 years after, Stuart said I had a little dirt on my face, was a little dirty. And I was like, I'm done. I'm freaking done. Like, I can't. And so I stopped hydroquinone. I stopped going and getting any type of laser. I would still get Botox or whatever, but, and I,
And you said, I'm going
started
to
with
create
one
my own.
product.
Right.
Not really, not then. It was more about
What can
trying
I
to
do?
figure out what I could do.
Yeah.
And I was really on a roller coaster. I was really feeling insecure and emotional. And, you know, I was just like, how is everything like kind of blown up?
Yeah.
I started with one product that I still love. It's pretty lethal, and it's probably going to cause cancer, but it was one really strong product. You can't use it when you're pregnant, but I got off the hydroquinone, the prescription.
Okay.
Then I used another product, and then I used another product, and then I would do this 2 times a week, then 1 time a week, then 4 times a month. And I ended up having like an arsenal of like 15 products.
And this is,
And
Molly, for like melasma, or is this for like sun? Is this like, because
this
I
is
want
for
women to
sun.
understand what this is
So
treating,
when
because
you
I
look
hear
in the
about
mirror,
it all
when
the
you look
time.
in the mirror and you're like patchy,
Yeah.
or you've got like a post-inflammatory pimple, you've picked it, it's red, it's red, it's brown. You've got a little bit of cheek unevenness,
Right.
forehead unevenness. Your
It's like
skin looks
discoloration.
discoloration, and it looks dull,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like patchy.
Right.
That is what Wise was really made for. To have the brightening, but not have the downtime.
Right.
Listen, I did everything so drastic, right? So
Most women
more
do.
did not mean more,
Right.
and more did not mean better. And
Right.
again, like you, we have tremendous access,
Yep.
which,
To all the products.
you know, sometimes gets us in trouble. I
Yeah.
mean, the dermatologist that we interviewed over the past year, the number one thing that they're seeing in women is that they're fucking their barrier,
Yeah.
their skin barrier.
Too many things.
Meaning that you can't keep makeup on. It's irritated, it's dry, and more importantly, it's red. It's an overuse of retinol, retin-A, retinoid,
Yep.
an overuse of hydroquinone. Because the moment you do anything really, really, really strong and you walk out into the sun,
It's raw.
it makes you super hypersensitive,
Yeah.
and all that will come back. So all of
Yes.
this was such a balance. And my neighbor during COVID, she would, right before COVID in 2019, there's this great plastic surgeon named Dr. Carmanukian. And if you're on the west side of LA, or you need a really good plastic surgery to sew your kids up, he does chins, he does knees, he does heads. And he's also
We've had our
incredible plastic
kids sewn up so many times. So many times.
Or you could do Roddy if you're more in the North Beverly Hills area. And he's also just an overall incredible plastic surgeon. And my neighbor, Annie Boulanger, she was like, your skin looks really good. And I'd started getting compliments about 3 months in. And and I'm my
I
harshest
noticed
critic. I'm
it.
like,
I noticed. I said it to you.
skin does look better. And then I did a little bit. And so during COVID, I like would drop off boxes. I'm like, okay, use this once a week, use this 3 times a week. And again, everyone was different, but I tried to put the system I narrowed it down to like 10 for each one. Like I physically got the products, put it in the box, and delivered it.
Of course you did.
Um,
Of course you did.
And then in 2020, right before the strike, I was thinking about, what did I want to do? And I always loved to be like beauty, and I wanted to change my site to have more beauty everywhere, to not just have fashion or makeup or skincare, but also travel and just the lifestyle of what I love and what we love, traveling, you name it. And I had started writing a third book about women would always ask me for advice, and it was tentatively titled Unstuck, meaning that how do you kind of get where you want to be when you're stuck, or if you want to do something. And I ended up, and I said, but I ended up meeting my partner at the same time. And I brought all this in. I'm like, is there any way? I'm like, why does everything that is really strong and either a dermatologist or just ugly, like really ugly, and you don't want to sit on your counter, or like the millennials, like they get all the beautiful products, but there's no efficacy whatsoever, right?
Right. Well,
Like,
by the way, Jenny Mullen goes, wait, I tried, a very prominent model's products. And she's like, I tried them. She goes, of course they look amazing on her. Isn't she 25? She's like, at 25, any dewy product face made my skin look better.
Right.
So yes,
So
point.
out of, meeting them, and it took us 3 years, we did befores and afters, and we came up with, whether you want to call it our system or routine, and that's what we're finding within our community, is that I actually was only going to launch 3 products, really 2.
Right.
One, which is called the Problem Solver, which
is so good.
my ode to hydroquinone, meaning that it's really strong, it's really efficacious. You could use it as an all-over treatment to get really even skin. Or you can spot treat it for, like, I still have my cystic acne, or just, I don't even know, sunspots and it's in a gold tube. And this was,
So pretty.
my ode to solving a problem that I had. And it was my ode to a clean version of hydroquinone that actually worked, but that didn't give you any downtime. As you know, so many women don't exfoliate, or so many women over exfoliate. And so it started with this product, and then it started with your favorite X pad. And we've got 96% skin luminosity, 90% skin texture, 90% visibly retextured skin. And I explain it like this. Everyone always compliments my hair color, meaning that they're like, wow, your hair color looks really good. I'm like, I know. I have really good hairdresser, hairstylist Tracy Cunningham, or Liz Young, like the team that does it. I go, but the reason why my hair color looks good is because they make me do a step before I go to get my hair colored.
Right.
They make me either use a clarifying shampoo, a clarifying crystal treatment for about 15 minutes, and it gets all the yucky water bad, or Jill Lee has a great filter head now to clean the water to get all that shit out of your hair. It's the same with your face. If you don't exfoliate, and that's what these pads are, what we didn't want was, oh, you can use it twice a week, or you can only use it 4 times a week, or you can only, so we made 7 days, 7 pads, consistency that you can use and you can exfoliate. Because what you don't, I see women when they don't get their makeup off. I can see makeup on makeup. And what you do is you really have to exfoliate. You have to cleanse it. You have to get in there and kind of mess up the barrier, but don't kill the barrier. And so there's incredible properties and actives that there's Ectoin, which is Allure did a really good article about this ingredient in the pads. And it's kind of like a secret service agent, where it's like you can exfoliate, but it helps save the barrier. It's
Right. It's protecting it. It's exfoliating it, but it's protecting it. It's like sealing it almost.
And with the line, so all of the things, and
But wait, Molly, how scared are you to do this? Because I remember being with you just before the launch. And this is, I want to talk about this because you've done so many different things in your life. You've done so many different things in your career. I think, like, sitting here today, to me, this is, such an organic, synergistic, logical step for you, because the same way I eat, sleep, and breathe fashion is the same way you eat, sleep, and breathe beauty. Because I feel like the one thing that I would say if I didn't know you, right? If I didn't know you and you were like walking down the street and I was just being introduced to you, the first thing that I would say is, she looks so like healthy. She looks so, even though you're exhausted, but the point is, like, let's be real. I know what's going on the inside, but the point is that like you have this very like strong, healthy, vibrant, dewy, fresh thing about you, no matter what. And every time I see you, it's like you walk in, and I think part because you're tall and obviously beautiful, but I think you always have this like this glow. You always have this glow. And I think to do products like this, first of all, taking it to a very superficial level, the packaging is so beautiful. It's so chic. It sits on my vanity. It's gorgeous. So I think that's obviously really important, that great product does not look clinical,
Well,
right?
What doesn't look clinical, and also think
No,
about it. Like
but it
the vitamin
works.
C, which I didn't want to do because I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, there's so
Right,
many
of
incredible
course.
vitamin C's and retinols on the market, but
They
they're like, well,
work.
what don't you like? What don't you like about the vitamin C's on the market? I'm like, well, some are sticky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most peel under makeup.
Right.
Most smell like
Right.
either
Yeah.
vitamin C or
Yeah.
hot dogs.
Yeah.
And secondly, they're not efficacious. And
Right.
so that I think is why it's selling so incredible. And like with the retinol, like again, you don't need to burn off your face. You're making when you're burning and you're dry, that means you're drying, and that means you're making
Sure.
yourself look old.
Of course.
So again, our retinol is hydrating. But it does the job, and it does it over a time release, a release at night.
By the way, Molly, that goes back to every single thing you do in your life is a step toward the next thing.
It really,
right?
For me, like the glow is not in the makeup. The glow is in your skin.
No, it's
the
in your
glow is in
skin.
it's in your soul, right? Like,
Yes.
you can attest to
But
this.
how
Like,
scared are you, Malls, about this?
I was scared.
You were scared because why though?
I
Because
was.
you're launching your own business
I think
product
I had done
out
a
there
podcast
in the world.
and I'd taken a big step on doing the podcast because they originally, in our world, they want you to either do it on your own or be with some famous actor or someone. I'm like, there's no fun. There's there's no laughter.
Sure.
And so I said to Dear Media, I said, is there any way you would chemistry test my best friend? They were like, who is she? I was like, oh, she lives in New Jersey. She has 3 kids. She used to be English. And they were like, no. And I was like, no, but just trust me. I'm like, do you want to know how I talk about beauty and fashion and all things? I'm like, just honestly put us on a Zoom, listen in, and you tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm. And here
I was
you
like,
are.
they're never gonna go for it.
Right.
I was telling him, I'm like, just be you. Don't do anything else.
Yeah.
We weren't 15 minutes in
And they were done.
the test, and they were like, done. Because this is what we do.
of
The same thing as when you have guests on, you're like, we're talking, we're having a good time.
It's organic.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I saw Rachel. She was doing an incredible Coveteur collab with Chriselle Lynn. And I was in the middle of starting the pre-press of it all, and I think after 3 years, starting a podcast, clinicals, exorbitant amount of money flying out of your bank account.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say,
It's
I haven't
terrifying.
internally panicked in a
What-
long time.
But doesn't it feel good though in a weird way? Like that panic, I know it's terrifying, but I actually think I do come from the school, if it doesn't scare you, it's not worth doing. I do, because I think life still has to scare you. Things like that business still has to scare you a little bit, or we get complacent in what we do. And I think this is such a big move, and it's so beautiful, and you worked so hard on it, and you believe so much in it, and it's proven, right? So it's like,
I mean, I definitely, I knew what it had done for me. And I was telling Bethany Frankel, like, I felt like you. It's like one part of my head was this, one part of my forehead was this, like different strengths. Like I'm here today at the chemist. The chemist is like 4 doors down, and I'm testing
new product.
I'm testing formulas.
Yep.
25%, 50% silver, pearl, like it's.
You're a guinea pig, Molly.
I drive them crazy.
Of course
I like,
you do.
and so But I think because I do have so much writing on it. And, I didn't, whether you want to say this or not, like I didn't want to just put my name on something or just be another celebrity
Of course.
skincare. I would have called it Molly Sims if I wanted it to be that. I'm actually the same customer part of the community as the Wise is. Like, I am that girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to solve a problem for me just as I am for everyone else. It's just, yeah, I was like having like a nervous breakdown pretty much. Yeah.
Of course. And are you breathing now? How does it feel post launch, right? Like, are you still an
I
anxious
mean,
mess, or are you
think,
like,
I don't even know if I've said this out loud, but in 2 days, we hit what we were supposed to hit in 2 months.
when it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cup is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
My dad works in B2B marketing, but I never really knew what that meant. Then one day my dad came by my school for career day and told everyone in my class he was a big MQL man. Then he just kept saying things like, the more MQLs, the better, over and over. My friends still laugh at me to this day. I think it means marketing qualified lead. One thing's for sure, I'll be known as the MQL man's kid for the rest of my days. Why couldn't you just be a fireman or a lawyer? Why? You ruined my life, Dad.
Not everyone gets B2B, but LinkedIn has the people who do. And with ads on LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people based on job title, industry, likelihood to buy, and more. Start converting your B2B audience into high-quality leads today. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/customer to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/customer. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cup is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
Make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, while parents keep an eye on kids' money habits. Greenlight also helps families get into their fall routine with a chores feature that lets parents assign chores and pay kids allowance when they check them off. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
When it comes to living life, there's a lot to overthink. Like most working moms, I am constantly juggling my work and my family life, and sometimes all that decision making is truly exhausting. But at least I don't ever have to overthink my water. I've been drinking Smart Water for many, many years and truly love its pure, crisp taste. It's vapor distilled through a process inspired by clouds and has added electrolytes for taste. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, every morning, is head down to my kitchen to drink water. Hydrating with Smart Water is my favorite way to start the day, and making that simple choice is such a refreshing change of pace from the whirlwind of my life. Starting my day by focusing on myself and my health is so important to me. I'm always a lover of chic branding and packaging, and Smart Water's sleek bottle shape makes it the perfect accessory for any day bag, workout tote, or backpack. I absolutely love how the rounded bottle fits perfectly into my kids' side pockets for school or camp. Smart Water even looks chic displayed on any counter or vanity in my house. As most moms know, it can be tricky to get kids to drink enough water, but my boys absolutely love the taste of Smart Water, and the sports cup is great for their very, very active days. Smart Water is the smart way to hydrate no matter what you have going on in your life. Life is full of choices. Smart Water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. Maybe that's because so much of your personal information is out of your control. Like your insurance provider that has your social security number, and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information is vulnerable. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve identity theft issues on your behalf, guaranteed, or your money back. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You might not be able to control how others handle your personal information, but you can help protect it with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/iHeart. That's 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com/iHeart. Terms apply.
Have you made the switch to Knix? Millions of women have made the switch to the revolutionary period underwear from Knix. That's Knix. Period panties from Knix are like no other, making them the #1 leak-proof underwear brand in North America. They're comfy, stylish, and absorbent, perfect for period protection from your lightest to your heaviest days. They look, feel, and machine wash just like regular underwear, but feature incognito protection that has you covered. You can shop sizes from extra small to 4XL. Choose from all kinds of colors, prints, and different styles, from bikinis to boy shorts, thongs to high-rise. You've got to try Knix. See why millions are ditching disposable, wasteful period products and have switched to Knix. Go to knix.com and get 15% off with promo code TRY15. That's knix.com, promo code TRY15 for 15% off life-changing period underwear. That's knix.com.
Molly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I will say
I wasn't surprised, but I was definitely like, I was like, oh wow,
it's scary.
We're about to be sold out of 2 products, which we're kind of freaking out about, but I think we're gonna hit the 2-week window. But listen, the response has been incredible. I think I knew I had something from the befores and afters and from the clinicals.
Yeah.
I knew when, so I didn't know how, I don't know how beauty companies work. I didn't know how testing work. And so you have to send your products. You can't have anything to do with what they do, what they say, and they upload them onto sites like Yotpo or something like that. I'm like, I was like, oh my God. And they can say anything and they can be brutal. And so those started coming in about 24 hours before launch.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I could anybody. I was, and then the response, I had one woman write that I have a moisturizer called Extremely Rich. And as much as I love a really thick fond, doesn't really love me because I still, the whole line of non-comedogenic because I still get acne. So it's really weightless and velvety. It's got ceramides in it. You can put it on with makeup, without makeup. It's just like an all day night moisturizer. And she was like, she was like, I love the fucking packaging. And she like cursed in it. And she was like, I love the packaging. But this was in a Ziploc bag that I could take with me in my purse on a daily basis, I would. So
you know what that means, Molly? You got to do trial sizes quick. You got to do minis quick.
We're trying to figure that out for holiday and for
gift set.
But listen, everything was really thoughtful. Like I love a foam cleanser. Like my friend makes an incredible foam cleanser from Say So.
Yep.
But for me, a foam cleanser was too astringent and too you can't start stripping if you're dry.
Right.
So it's almost like a double cleanse. So we have a gel oil, which leaves you super hydrated. You can do gua sha, you can get in there, you can do a massage, and it gets it all out. And you feel like you've already done a skincare treatment because it leaves you super soft.
Molly, you're going to be a dermatologist by the end of this, by the way.
I mean,
you're going to be like a doctor because you have 3 kids. You're going to be a dermatologist from doing this.
We deal with a lot in the family. But
how do you feel, Malls, now about, here's the thing, like I think anyone obviously who follows you knows how hard you work, how crazy your life is. But I also just want to quickly touch on the fact that you are, if ever I have seen one, you and another friend of ours, a sports mom of another proportion, like a monster, like to a degree that I don't know that in my life I knew existed. And I don't think anyone realizes the fact that being a sports mom is actually its own full-time job because you dedicate multiple nights a week and without fail every weekend to your kids and traveling all over the place. It's not like around the corner. So I just want to add on top of that being all the things, the hands-on mom, the hands-on wife, that is another job.
I think sports, whether it's singular, like what my brother did, really focusing. I mean, he played baseball and basketball and all the things, but when he got into middle school, he really loved and fell in with golf.
Yeah.
But also the importance of being on a team sport, whether you play for school, whether you play for your local rec, whether you do club or take it anyway.
Yep.
These are life skills, right? To be able to work with 7 other people, 10 other teammates, to be able to be a leader, to be able to come back when you're down. Like it helped me even in developing my company.
Yep.
Like, what if the attitude, when you get something, you're like, I had this one friend, she was like really down at it. So I'm like, we made a mistake. Who cares? Moving on. And she was like, you're not bad. I'm like, I'm not happy. But
you got to move on.
We got to pick ourselves. It's like, it's like I talk, not to drop things, but I talk, if you ever watched Tom Brady play in the 20 years that he played, the number one thing about Tom is when he's down, he can come back.
Yeah.
And the mental strength that it takes. And that's what I show Brooks. Like, it doesn't matter that he's down 27-3.
Yeah.
Like in the 4th quarter with 10 minutes to go. What is that come back? What is it picking you up and bringing it back? And I really think, for their bodies and development to play different sports, but to really be on a team. I think coaches are instrumental in youth and developing them. And
for better or for worse, by the way.
For better or for worse. Yeah. Like all the coaches are like, single sport, like you have to play 1 year round, like, in 1 ear out the other. We're not doing that. But
so interesting.
I do think
and you love it. You love it.
I also had fun. I mean, it's like, what are we gonna do? Go to dinner and hang out at Georgia? I'm like, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No. I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
Not that I really want to drive to Carlsbad for 2.5 hours.
Which you're probably doing. You're doing it today, right?
Yeah,
of course.
And I have 7 games. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 games tomorrow. But
6 games tomorrow with just Brooks or between your 3 kids?
No, she's playing. She plays at 8. He plays at 8:50. She plays at 9:40. He plays at. They're doing a lacrosse tournament. That's not including Gray. Gray is going along for the ride.
Molly, let me just tell you this. I would say that you've had a long career. You've done a lot of different things. You've pivoted. I would say it's funny because I've known you through almost all of them. You really are very tough. And I mean that in a really good way. What I mean is you're very resilient. Because you're very happy, you're very smiley, you're all the things, you're very positive, but you're also tough. You also had a very serious back surgery this year and I would like to announce she was trick-or-treating on her feet. 5 days later, Stuber and I were like, Stuber, you can't let her come. She can't walk. She can stay at the house, but she can't. And there you were, right next to me.
That came back to haunt me.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Bay,
so there you go.
And Dr. Rodney. No, listen, I had a very hard year medically.
Yeah. Which affects you emotionally.
Something bad happening. And then my back was the cherry on top. And I had backed out of this surgery. Backed out.
Literally.
I had no pun intended. A year before, because I had such a hard year and a bad summer, I felt like I just had to do it. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I had an L5S1 disc replacement and I was so bad. I'm a little OCD and I would not pick up things because I physically could not bend down. I could not exercise anymore. I was and we shared a similar doctors, Dr. Baker, who's an incredible GP. She looked at me and she goes, I just feel like you're going to get used to this pain. And when I woke out of surgery, I was like, are you kidding me? What have I done? Because I was in like the most amount of pressure. But I think I did it at the end of October. And in January, no, I think it was in like March, there was a day where I was like, I didn't think about my back.
Right.
And it wasn't odd because, you're
used to thinking about it all the time.
Well, and also it's like a phantom thing they can explain better than I can. Yeah. It's like your nerves get used to being in pain. And so almost like even though you're probably still not in pain, it's almost like you still feel it because the nerves they have memory and habit.
Yep.
And see, he said, if someone loses an arm, they still feel like, and he said that will ultimately, stop. And I don't even want to say it out loud because
don't say it. But now you're doing Pilates and you're exercising and back to life.
And so, and listen, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I'm able to have the surgery and have incredible doctors. And when something, when the shit hits the fan,
But of all these things, Malls, in your life now, because you have a lot, you have your hands in a lot of things. What is your greatest life challenge and what keeps you awake when you go to sleep at night? What is the thing that's keeping you awake? If anything, you're like, actually, I'm a beautiful sleeper. Oh no, don't cry.
I think I'm just really happy with my life.
Oh my God. Because she's happy. I'm going to finish this and tell me if I'm wrong.
But I'm just really
she's
blessed
really
and
blessed
grateful.
and really happy. And
I'm really grateful and really blessed. And I worry about them. And
you worry about your kids.
I do.
Yeah, of course.
It's like it's normal momming.
Yeah.
I think when you lose a mom,
yeah,
and you become a mom,
yeah,
the dichotomy is so real, and all the things they're what you grew up as, and having that, and I hope I am that with them.
You are. I can tell you are. You're already winning. You win so hard at Mom Life, and It's true. Someone asked me the other day what I worry about, and everybody thought I was going to say like 1,000 business things. And all I said is like, I just worry about my kids. And if they're good, I'm good. Right? Like if they're good, we're good. They're healthy, they're happy, we're good. We can sort out the rest, right? Right?
Yeah, and also you want to get into like a good place of not thinking like the shoe's gonna drop, right? Like that's also like not a great
Can't live like that.
it's not a great headspace to exist from, right?
Of
So
course.
I think COVID helped because we got to say no without having to apologize.
Totally.
I learned the power of no because if I said no to this, then I said yes to something else with my family or not, or just being able to say less.
Yep.
I think it's been a really powerful thing for me to not feel like I'm Southern, so I always feel bad about everything. And I was interviewing this girl the other day, and she was like, I'm just worried. I'm like, I just think you're overqualified. I think you're a badass. Like, I think I can get you this. Just give me a second. And she was like, but you're not in charge of my happiness. And I was like, oh, no, I know that. But see, I do. That's just who I am. So once you know who you are, you have to accept that I will worry about your happiness if you work for me. And she kind of like looked at me like weirdly. And she was like, yeah, I'm used to the corporate world. I'm like, no, we're a startup. So I'm actually I'm going to worry about you.
100%.
But it was so interesting. She was younger. I mean, she was, I think, early 30s.
She was like confused.
She was so, a little. I was like, I know, but I'm just going to be really honest with you. I think I don't even know if this, but I'm like, I could probably get you a job. Like, I just think you're overqualified. Like, she was just she was like, well, why don't you let me make that decision? I'm sure that's what she was thinking. But I was like, well,
Well, I love you so much. I cannot believe you have to go to Carlsbad today, but I love you. You are my hero.
God,
Listen, you're my hero in so many ways. I've known you for almost my entire adult life at this point. And in so many ways, you're exactly the same as the day I met you. And,
I would be like, I'm not wearing that. She'd be like, just put it on.
Molly used to come into my studio for a fitting, and I'll leave you all on this note. She used to come into my studio, and she used to be like, first she would go, okay, Rich, you don't have to be here. I'm not big enough. Just leave me with someone. Just leave me with an assistant. Anyone can just show me a dress. Just tell me what you want to wear, right? And then I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here.
She'd always stay.
And literally in less than 10 minutes, Molly would leave with 3 looks. Literally.
I'm her fastest client. She would come back to me. I would still be. That's why her oldest client, but her fastest client.
Yes. And literally, I would look at my team and be like, if everyone could be like Molly, I could be like the Tracy Cunningham of stylists. I could do 30 people, 40 people.
Okay. You always, the one thing that, I hope, you had always such great girls and they learned from you. That's why you did feel comfortable because you hired well, taught them well. And then, and I think that is such a skill. Now, again, leaving you with something else that we don't have to talk about in the pocket, but that is your superpower because I've never, for 15 plus years, you had some of the best girls, working for you and being creative.
But it's hard.
Yeah, but it was always so good. And I have to say, it was always
we had so much fun.
Flattering to be like, no, I'm going to stay with you. Even though there was like, honestly, like Brie Larson in the fucking next room or like Anne Hathaway. It's like, I'm going to stay with you. I'm like, I don't know if that's the smartest idea, but we'll make it click. But
Molly, still my favorite. Always my favorite. Always professional. Always kind. Always pro. That's the thing, Malta. You're just
going to come on lipstick on the rim.
Yeah, I am. Hell yeah, I am. Of course I am.
And
can't wait.
And you guys follow YSE Beauty. It's YSE.
You guys get it. Get YSE Beauty. And it's YSE, by the way. YSE. The packaging is beautiful. The products are so good. They're so good. And they feel so good. They work. And they're beautiful. You will not want to stick them in your cabinet. You'll want them to sit on your vanity.
But I was like, my freak out.
Yes.
My freak out was hard.
But that's normal. The freak out's normal. You have to freak out. This is another baby. This is another baby that you just had, honestly. And you're gonna keep raising this one too, by the way.
I know. So I love you.
I love you.
I will not see you in Carlsbad, but I'll see you.
No, you will not, but you'll see me on Sunday. You'll see me Monday. You'll see me Monday, Tuesday.
I know.
All the things. And all summer.
All summer. All right.
I love you.
I love you guys.
Have the
Love
best
you all.
weekend. Love you. YSE Beauty.
Bye, Warren.
Bye. Okay, everybody, it's time for Ask Rachel. And this week, I'll start with the first question, which is, what staples should be in every man's closet? It's funny, I've actually never been asked that question before. But I would say definitely the classics, like a really good pair of dark wash polished jeans that they can dress up if need be, a good pair of black or brown ankle boots, or both. I would say some kind of version of a driving loafer that you can wear with or without socks, dress up or wear casually. Obviously, a pair of sneakers. And I would say a blazer that you can wear a t-shirt or a sweater under, or a button up and a tie if need be. And of course, a few suits that are tailored and actually fit well, because I actually find the biggest challenge for men, at least from where I sit, is that their clothes don't fit them properly because they're too lazy to get them altered and they just are ill-fitting. So I think a really good black, brown, charcoal, navy, pinstripe, any of these versions of a blazer are great for a guy. And of course, a casual jacket that they can throw on with a t-shirt or a sweater or polo shirt anytime. Yeah, I mean, I think that should pretty much get a guy anywhere in life. Don't forget to submit your questions for next week's episode. All you have to do is DM us your questions to @ClimbingInHeelsPod on Instagram, and I might just answer your question. Thank you again to my beautiful friend Molly Sims for being on Climbing in Heels twice, technically. In addition to Molly being incredibly hardworking and ambitious, she's also an amazing friend that really shows up when I need her most. I'm really excited to watch her soar with this new product line and all the other things she has coming up. Truly my hero as a sports mom, as you may have seen on her social media, but Molly juggles a lot. It's very impressive. And she also has an incredibly huge heart, as you learn in this podcast too. If you want more on Climbing in Heels, follow me at Rachel Zoe and at Climbing in Heels Pod on Instagram for more updates and upcoming guest episodes and all things Parator. I will see you next week. Mwah.
There's no distance too far for the perfect trip.
Hi, checking in for...
Or the perfect table.
Hey, where are you?
Coming! And when you get access to Resi Priority Notify with your Amex Platinum card...
Hey, this looks amazing! I'm so glad you made it.
And travel benefits at fine hotels and resorts booked through Amex Travel, it's worth the trip. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
You know that feeling when you walk into your home, take a deep breath, and feel new? Well, that's what it's like to use Clorox Scentiva. Because Clorox Scentiva smells like coconut, cleans like Clorox, and feels like energy. It'll elevate any cleaning routine to not just clean, but also make every room smell like a tropical coconut getaway. Discover how Clorox Scentiva's powerful clean and refreshing scents can transform your space. Get yours in coconut or other fabulous scents at a nearby retail store.
Whether it's game day, movie night, or just a busy day, it's always time for Papa Murphy's. And now you can get any medium two-topping pizza for just $6.99. That's right. The whole family can get exactly what they want any day of the week for any occasion. Any toppings, any sauce, only $6.99. Now that's meaty yum. If only everything else in life was like our deal. Order any medium two-topping pizza for just $6.99 at papamurphys.com.